The wind howled through the narrow streets, cutting like a blade as winter tightened its grip on the city. People hurried past with their heads down, hands buried deep in their pockets, too focused on reaching warmth to notice anything else. That's when he saw her, a small girl, standing near a closed storefront, trembling uncontrollably. Her lips were pale, her hands red from the cold, and she wore nothing but a thin sweater that offered no protection against the freezing night. He stopped. For a moment, logic argued with his heart. He wasn't rich. He had a long walk home. That coat was the only thing keeping him warm. But as he looked into the girl's frightened eyes, hesitation melted away. Without a word, he shrugged off his heavy coat and gently wrapped it around her shoulders. It swallowed her small frame, but the warmth brought instant relief. "Where's your family?" he asked softly. The girl pointed down the street, her voice barely a whisper. He walked her to a nearby diner, bought her a hot drink with the little cash he had, and waited until she was safe. He never asked her name, he never expected thanks. To him it was simply the right thing to do. As he walked away into the cold, shivering now but strangely at peace, he had no idea who that child was, or whose daughter he had just protected. He didn't know that this single, quiet act of kindness would travel far beyond that frozen street and reach a man known for fear, power, and a reputation that made cities fall silent. That night, in the bitter cold, a simple choice was made, one that would soon shake an entire world. The moment he saw the coat wrapped around his daughter's shoulders, the biker knew something was different. She was warm, safe, and for the first time that night no longer afraid. When she told him about the stranger, the man who gave up his own coat and bought her a hot drink, the room fell silent. Members of the Hells Angels watched closely, expecting rage, but it never came. Instead, the biker stood up slowly, his jaw tight, eyes burning with a cold focus. "Find him," he said quietly. There were no threats, no shouting, just a command carried on respect and fear. The search began immediately, not with violence, but with precision. Bikes rolled through the city. Streets, mechanics, bartenders, night guards. Everyone was asked the same simple question. "Have you seen a man walking home without a coat last night?" The city felt the tension. Whispers followed the sound of engines. People assumed the worst. When Hell's Angels look for someone, it rarely ends well. But this hunt was different. The biker didn't want revenge. He wanted answers. He wanted to see the face of the man who helped his child when the world walked past. Hours turned into days. Finally, a lead surfaced. A construction worker, seen shivering at a bus stop, refusing help, wearing nothing but a thin hoodie in freezing weather. The biker rode out alone. When he spotted the man, his heart hit harder than any fight he'd ever faced. The stranger looked exhausted, cold, and completely unaware of the storm heading his way. The biker cut the engine and stepped forward, shadows stretching between them. This meeting was coming, and whatever happened next would change both their lives forever. The man froze when he saw the biker step closer. Leather jacket, heavy boots, the unmistakable mark of the Hells Angels on his back. Fear tightened his chest. He had no idea who this man was, only that trouble seemed to follow him like a shadow. Before he could speak, the biker raised a hand, stopping him. "You gave your coat to my daughter," the biker said, his voice low but steady. Silence hung between them. The man nodded slowly, bracing himself. He didn't apologize, he didn't defend himself. "She was cold," he replied simply. "Anyone would have done the same." The biker stared at him for a long moment. Then something unexpected happened. The feared man removed his gloves, reached into his jacket, and handed the stranger a thick envelope. The man tried to refuse, but the biker shook his head. "This isn't payment," he said. "It's respect." But that wasn't all. Later that day, the man returned to his rundown apartment to find his landlord waiting, with a signed notice cancelling months of overdue rent. His broken car was repaired, A new job. Offer sat on his table. No questions asked, no strings attached. Word spread quietly. This man was under protection. When he finally understood who had done this, his hands trembled, not from fear, but disbelief. One small act of kindness had rewritten his future. The biker never asked for loyalty, never demanded gratitude. He only sent one message through the city. Anyone who protects my child becomes family. And just like that, compassion proved stronger than fear, and kindness became a shield no power could break.